In today's video, I'm going to show you a super simple hack of how to get your foundation, concealer, whatever you do your base makeup with, have that natural, your skin, but better look. Hello there, welcome back, and thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me today. If you're seeing my face for the first time, welcome. I'm Teresa and I upload videos 2 to 3 times a week where we share one little spark of life together. A lot of people ask me about my makeup, and mainly they ask how I get my makeup to look so blended and so natural. Not necessarily like my eye makeup whenever I do really bright, colorful eye looks, but the base of my makeup. And so I thought that I would share that with you today. My tips, my tricks, my hacks, whatever you want to call them, for getting that beautifully blended, very natural base makeup look. And that is why I'm coming to you barefaced. So with this, I will be showing you the products that I currently use, but I'm not really here to sell you any sort of like specific product. I am just going to show you how I do my look with the products that I do have. I do always like to start off with my skincare. I've already pre-washed my face, and by pre-washed, I mean I rinsed my face off with some micellar water, and then I go in with a toner. That is really the only like skincare item that I use, besides of course sunscreen and moisturizer. I go in with a PHA and BHA toner. This is the one that I have been using for the past year. It is from Glow Recipe, and this does do a good job of resurfacing sort of the face, smoothing out the face, smoothing out the skin. I just use a little bit of that. I know that I did say, I'm not here to sell you a certain thing, which I am not. That is just the one that I use. There are tons of very lightweight chemical exfoliators. That is what the BHA and the PHA is. They are lightweight chemical exfoliators. And that to me is something that has drastically improved my skin to give me a smoother canvas for my makeup. Now, while I let that sink in for a few moments, notice I did say smoother. I do want to be completely clear because I feel that with a lot of YouTube videos or TikTok videos or pictures online or pictures in ads, I feel we're kind of lied to. So I'm going to tell you the truth. I hate to break it to you. You will never get a completely smooth, texture-free face. And when I say you, I don't just mean you, I mean anybody. Because texture is a part of skin. And pores are a part of skin. And that is okay. Your makeup will cling to certain parts of your face, no matter what sort of makeup product you use or what sort of primer you use. And that is okay. The products that I use in my day-to-day life, like this toner, they do a relatively good job of smoothing things out a bit and kind of helping there to be less texture and to minimize the appearance of my pores a little bit more. It's not 100% perfect, and that's okay because it's not supposed to be. So next up, I always do go in with some SPF. Honestly, I'm not particular, I'm not picky on my SPF. I usually just use like the store brand version of Coppertone or, like whatever. Currently, I am using some SPF from Shiseido simply because it was sent to me in PR, and I am liking these. I do like this one a little bit more than their other one. This is the Sun Dual Care SPF. This has hyaluronic acid in it, so it does do a good job of plumping up your skin a little bit. Hyaluronic acid isn't really something that's going to plump up your skin constantly. Like, it's not a one and done, or even with continual use. It plumps it up in the moment. This, by the way, I did not cut myself, in case you're seeing. I was painting earlier and some paint exploded. The paint is not leaving my skin. No matter how much I try to scrub it off, it's not leaving. So if you see that, don't be worried. So I put that on, and then I think that for me, I do have combination skin with, of course, texture, but I have a lot of texture here in my cheek area. I don't use primers on a daily basis because I feel that that gives too much for the makeup to actually grab onto, and I find that it accentuates my texture a little bit more. I am more so for the really moisturize the skin. I like to provide moisturizing bases. So all of this is topped off by a lightweight moisturizer. And I think that that is one of the keys to my makeup looking so fresh and so blended all the time, because my skin is well prepped and it is nice and moisturized. Now you can over prep your skin, but that's another video for another day, I guess. This to me, toner, SPF, and some sort of lightweight moisturizer currently, and I'm almost done. I am using from Vitamasks the Super Bamboo Pollution Shield, and this is their light day cream. And so that is it as far as my skincare is concerned. I would definitely recommend that you wait about 5 to 10 minutes from when you apply your SPF and your moisturizer and any other skincare that you do in the morning before you go in and apply your products. That way your skincare has time really to sink in, and it has time to kind of like set on your face. Because if you go in right now and you automatically start applying everything is kind of going to shift around, because it's going to be a really, I don't want to say oily because my face is not oily right now, but a really like overly emollient. So while this is kind of sinking in, setting on my face, I'm going to go and fix my hair, and I will be right back. All right, so I'm back, and I also did my eyebrows. I'm not pleased with what I'm currently using for my eyebrows all that much, but that is another video for another day. So everything has really sunk into my skin. Now we're going to go in for the first step, and that is neutralizing darkness in my skin. And by neutralizing, I'm not really talking about going in with color correctors or anything like that. All that I really do, for me personally, this works. For other complexions, it may not work. You may need to use darker shades or different shades. A shade like this is one of the MAC paint pots, and this is in Painterly. This is what I use for my eyeshadow base, and it works wonders as an eyeshadow base. But I also noticed that it was really neutralizing the dark veins that I had and the discoloration that I had in my eyelids. So I figured that I could just use this to sort of help in neutralizing the dark circles underneath my eyes. And so that's what I do. I just dot it on. It is really important to neutralize here, because that is an area that I feel is so missed a lot of times, and where a lot of shadows are created along, don't rub it in, just dot it along the eyes, and then also where I have darkness. So I have discoloration around my nose, and then here as well as some discoloration here. And next up is whatever you want to create your base with. Typically I do use just a regular liquid foundation or a skin tint, but I am out of all of those. I ran out mid last month and didn't really have the funds to go and repurchase some more foundation, so I just started using my NARS concealer, and this is their Soft Matte Complete Concealer. They're just little pod concealer. Mainly, it works like a cream foundation, but I currently have, so that is what I'm currently going to be using. But like I said, whatever you have, you can do all of this with that, except if you use powder foundations. I don't know how this would work with powder foundations because of the way that I apply my base makeup. But it could work with a skin tint, serum foundation, regular foundation, cream foundation like this, or even a concealer. So I go in and I just make some little dots kind of everywhere. If I am having a particular bad skin day, I'll put more. But I find, kind of like with seasoning when you cook, it's a lot easier to add, or rather, it's easier to add your base makeup if you need more than taking away. It's near impossible to take away if you don't, if you put too much. So I do have some redness down here extending into my neck. So I do like to put my makeup extending down into the neck. And it also helps to not create harsh lines of like where your foundation stops. So that is where we're going to stop as far as putting on the product now. And what I like to do, I've done this multiple ways. With liquid foundations, I've gone in and sprayed the foundation like on my hand, or I will dot it on with liquid or cream foundations and spray on top. And what I do is I just use a setting spray. Any setting spray. I've used Urban Decay setting spray, MAC setting spray, Milani. I'm currently using NYX. whatever setting spray you have on hand, you're just gonna spray your face. I know it seems weird. You're spraying your face and then you're adding more products. Don't worry, you're gonna spray your face after as well with your setting spray, but you just go in and spray the face. And this, oh my God, I always do that. Anytime I do makeup videos, I forget the setting spray still travels and it gets in my mouth and it's gross. Okay, so this is where I feel that there's going to be some people possibly clutching their pearls because you have been, like me for the longest time, you were brainwashed into thinking you needed a beauty blender or some sort of brush to put your foundation on or put your base on. But we're going old school. And you're just gonna blend it in with your fingers. And I swear to you, this, the setting spray, and using your fingers, the warmth of your fingers to smooth this out, that is what gives such a beautifully blended complexion. That's the secret. That's it. That's right there. That's the secret. How we put on our makeups. This is how, I don't know if this is how you did, but this is how I put on my makeup, minus the setting spray. But like, this is how I put on my makeup in the Y2K era when I first started wearing makeup. Just everything was with the fingertips, that you smooth things out. But then one day it was like, oh, you need a brush. And then you need a sponge and like all of these things. And it's like, but why? But why? And I think that technique was so good at the time. It was just probably the products we were using were not the best. So there. It also smooths out really easily and quickly. All right, so I'm going to check. I've been doing all this in the camera's viewfinder, but let me check to see. Okay. Always check to see, like up close. Anytime you do any sort of base with any sort of technique, because it will kind of cling in some places. But I do, so as you saw, I was kind of like smoothing it out, and then I like to go back in and really focus on the area around my eyebrows and around my nose and my hairline, just to make sure, and lips and such, anything that has like an area where the surface of your face meets something else, you do want to make sure that it's all blended into place. And I just sort of go like you'd be patting with a beauty blender, and I pat the makeup in. But because it has the warmth of skin on skin, it really melds things. It melds the makeup into your face. And really does help to blend out, and really does help with giving everything that smooth appearance. All right, so I'll get in while this is still kind of drying down a little bit. So you can see this is, see, like right here is giving me a little issue. This side of my face is typically the really dramatic side that likes to just diva it up and give me tons of issues. So as you can see, I still do have that texture here, but that's always, like I'm always going to have that texture no matter what I do. It gets a lot worse depending on how stressed out I am or like my allergens, things like that. So that is still there. That's okay. I will show you what all this looks like after we're done, by the way. Cream products are really getting their moment, I've noticed. And I really do love liquid and cream blushes. And my favorite cream blush is from Besame Cosmetics. So this is in the shade Crimson. And I use this on my lips, on my cheeks, and on my eyes. This is such a beautiful color. There you go. That's the color. It had a little bit of powder on it. So you can apply it just with your fingertips or a brush. I've applied this with both, and it blended out beautifully both ways. Now you will put your blush on where you like to put your blush, and depending on your face shape. What I like to do is put my blush here and here, kind of to sculpt things out a little bit. Not in the like 80s way of sculpting out, although I guess it kind of does. But I find in putting my blush there for my face shape, it really lifts the face. This is how faces in the 1930s to 1950s were really carved out and really contoured. They did contouring with their blush instead of bronzers like we do today. And so as you can see, like, it completely lifts the side of my face. And now my face, as most people's faces, are not symmetrical, but I'm going to repeat the process on this side. And that is it as far as the cream and liquid products on my face. I'm going to let this really set and dry down before I put on any sort of powder product. That way it has time to dry down and the powder products that I use don't clump to my skin. In the meantime though, what I typically do like to do is go in and do my eyes. And I know that you are here for just like the base makeup, assuming that is why you clicked on this, but I'll show you how I really easily and quickly make a really sheer eyeshadow look with 2 ingredients. What they also did to create smoky eyes in the 20s, I think it was, 1920s, 1930s, is they used Vaseline with eyeshadow. So that is what I'm going to do. That is what I do a lot of times just to create a really simple eye look. So what I'll do is I'll just go in and just scrape off a chunk of eyeshadow and I just put it on my hand. This is a very technologically advanced way of making makeup. So that, and then I just kind of pat it down. It's a lot like whenever I made paint out of eyeshadow. I will link that video down below so you can check it out. I used my old Modern Renaissance palette that had expired to make some paint. And so that's pretty much it. And then you go in, take a glob of Vaseline, and just mix it together. You can also do this with blush, or to make blush with a pink eyeshadow. This made way more than I need. This was quite wasteful. But what I'm going to go do is dip my finger in it. Just shear it out. I know eye balms and things like this, or like eyeshadow balms, they come and go as trendy a lot, as do many makeup looks. But this is a really easy way if you want to try out the trend or you want to use that without having to spend a lot, because they can be overly expensive when honestly this is all it is. And when I do this sort of thing, I do like to go in with some sort of eyeliner, just because it gives something to kind of like weigh the eye look down, because it is quite an ethereal look. And if you've been here for quite a while, to when this was solely a makeup channel, you will know that I love using just regular eyeshadow as eyeliners. So I'm just gonna go in to a black and then dip it into a gold as well to kind of create a bronzy eyeliner look. And because the majority of the eye was done with Vaseline pretty much, this will stick to it and give sort of the appearance of a gel liner. And I like to smooth things out with my fingertips. So if you want it, you could totally leave this as it is, but I live in extreme humidity and I don't like to do that. I do like to go in and put some sort of powder on my face. So I'm going to go in and set all of this, but just set it with, I was looking for my brush. So just set this with a very, very light dusting of some sort of setting powder. I will show you though, I'll do one half of my face and not the other one, just to show you the difference that, at least for me personally, I find setting powder does make in making everything look a lot smoother. And so with my brush, I've also done this with a beauty sponge as well. I'm just going in and patting it. All right, and this did a really good job. So from here on, I find that it really does a good job of, once again, kind of, it does mattify a little bit, but it really smooths out the lines. So you can see, yes, I still do have shadows, like from my light, my above light. I do have a shadow here. You do still, of course, see my under eye area and the under eye circles, but it's a little more pronounced here. I know I used a lot of cream products and I'm going in with a powder bronzer. I have not found a cream bronzer that I really like. They either turn like super red on me or they're too cool tone. So cool, I would only use it for contouring. But let me know in the comments down below if you do like cream bronzers and you found one, what that one is, so that I can give it a try. So I'm going to go in and just where I like to put my bronzer is to lift my eyes like here, and then just naturally where the sun would hit. I used to really sculpt out my face, but I don't really do that anymore. I don't really contour that much anymore, because honestly, who has the time? I sure don't. And that is it. I'm going to go back in with another round of setting spray. See, I learned this time and I waited until it stopped falling to talk. So this is key, another round of setting spray, because what setting sprays honestly do, I know they lock your makeup into place, they really don't. What they honestly do is like all of your powders and all of your products and kind of make them like and link together. And so it gives a smoother appearance to your skin and makes like all of your powders that you've just put on kind of meld into one, which really does help to create the smoothness in skin. So as far as the lips, what I like to do, if I am using a cream blush that is lip safe, I will go back in and just put it there, just because it is super easy to do and really helps kind of everything to be tied together. Okay, I'm gonna go put on some mascara and I will be right back. All right, so that is it, and this is the look. I'm going to come in close so you can see that texture is still 100% there, but that is okay. But this is what the rest of my face looks like. Pretty much looks like natural skin. Now, if a natural look is not your thing, that is no big. For the longest time, it was not my thing. I wanted that like theater kicked on makeup look. That was cool for the time. That was my truth that I lived in then. That is not where I am currently in the makeup game. Makeup is completely unique to you. So if you like a heavier look to your makeup, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. You run with it and you do what makes you feel happiest in your skin. If you would like to see more makeup looks like this, or you would like to see more makeup how-tos, let me know in the comments down below, and let me know if you want a specific type of makeup look. That way I can tag you in that video once it does go live. That is it for me today. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of your day with me. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.